What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful, delicious, smoky, jerky, bone-in Korean-style barbecue beef jerky. Coming up. These are some short ribs. Pat them dry. Sometimes called flank and cut ribs, sometimes called Korean barbecue style ribs, sometimes called LA style Korean barbecue ribs. These are essentially just some beef chuck ribs, but instead of slicing with the bone, they slice against the bone. So there's all these tiny little bone pieces in there. Nice thin, really fun cut, perfect for the grill, very versatile. If you haven't seen my Kalbi video, where I made some Korean barbecue using these guys, be sure to check that out. But in that very video, I talked about making some Kalbi style beef jerky. You know, bone-in beef jerky, same marinade, but smoked and dehydrated, and that's what we're doing today, folks, because I don't know, I think it'd be cool. I've also got some slightly shorter, thicker ones too, so we got a little experiment going, because these are really thin. These are a little bit thicker, so who knows, maybe we'll have a little more chew on these, but you gotta love the short rib. Just look at the marbling on that. Ah, beautiful cut. First things first, we need to go ahead and make a marinade. So into my blender here, I'm gonna go in with some soy sauce. Pretty traditional thing you're gonna see in a Korean barbecue marinade. And I'm also gonna go in with some Worcestershire sauce, which is not something you're typically gonna see in a Korean barbecue marinade, but you will see it in a beef jerky marinade. Followed by some garlic, some minced ginger, some brown sugar, red chili flakes, some Sprite, some Mirin, some green onion, one Bosque pear, and some sesame oil. And just get that nice and blended up. Beautiful. And quite simply enough, folks, in we go with all of our beautiful little ribbies here, and we're just gonna submerge them in our marinade. Ooh, yeah. What a perfectly sized vessel. Get in here, move all these around, make sure that each of them have some marinade on them. Oh, it smells so good. Looking good. Pop a lid on this, and into the fridge it goes for a very long time. This video is brought to you by HelloFresh. With the new year comes new goals, and HelloFresh is here to help. One of my main goals this year is focusing on time management. And with HelloFresh, I can skip trips to the grocery store, save time with meal prep, and really focus on portion control thanks to HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. With fast and fresh recipes, you can have a flavorful, filling meal on your table in about 15 minutes. And with over 35 weekly recipes, they have options for everyone in your family, no matter what your goals may be. You can choose calorie smart and carb smart recipes, or even customize select meals by swapping out proteins or sides. HelloFresh is also a great way to save money. These meal kits are cheaper than traditional grocery shopping and 25% cheaper than takeout. And that's because they only give you exactly what you need for the specific meal, saving you time, money, and helping you cut down on food waste. It's also comforting to know that you're getting quality, fresh ingredients. Produce travels from the farm to your table in less than 7 days, so you know you're eating well. So if you're looking to start the year off right and need some help with your New Year's goals, or just trying to improve your home cooking skills, go to HelloFresh.com and use code ChudsBBQ21 for 21 free meals plus free shipping. Again, I'll have a link in the description box of this video taking you to HelloFresh.com, where you can use code ChudsBBQ21 for 21 free meals plus free shipping. Thank you, HelloFresh. One overnight marination later. Looking very similar. Now, normally if I was just gonna throw these on the grill for some Korean barbecue, I would probably just lightly take some of this off and grill it off just like this. Let some of that marinade cook on, give it some extra flavor. But because we're gonna be drying this and cooking it through completely, I think some of this marinade will get kind of gunked up and weird. So I'm gonna rinse these off, which is another reason to let these go overnight. You know, usually if you're just gonna throw these on the grill, especially if they're this thin, you could get away with a 2 to 4 hour marinade. But because I'm rinsing all this extra flavor off, I think the overnight marinade is gonna work out just fine. And there we go. Definitely not very appealing looking at this stage, but that means we know that the enzymes in that pear did their job. Feeling nice and tender, which hopefully will make for some really good and some really tasty beef jerky. And as one final step, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some black pepper on there. Not too much, just a nice little dusting, because I like a nice peppery jerky. Just gonna do one side, because to be completely honest, I don't feel like flipping all of these over. But that is looking pretty good to me. Let's fire up the pit. New year, new me. Still same damn snake in my boot. And on the pit we go. I'm gonna leave them on these wire racks for ease of transport and also to make sure we don't get any sooty grease marks on our beautiful jerky. But I'm gonna rock this pit probably around 200, 225. They're really thin, so I don't want them to get too smoky, but I do want to cook them through, so I'm gonna try and burn a somewhat clean fire around the 200, 225 region, and we'll check back in a little bit. It's about 3 hours later. Let's go ahead and check in on these little beef jerky situations, shall we? Ow. And I gotta say, they're looking real nice. Beautiful color on there. Got some nice smoke on there. Darkened up really nicely. Still pretty bendy, but definitely cooked through. To finish these off, I'm gonna pop them in my dehydrator to finish the drying process. But you probably could leave these on the smoker for the whole time. And simply enough, onto the racks these go. They are looking pretty cool. The bones shrinking up all nice. It's gonna be a good little strip. You could very likely just leave this on the smoker at a low temp for the next few hours. Might get a little too smoky that way. Or I've seen a lot of people just do this in their oven at its lowest setting, around 170 degrees or so. I've seen some people that'll crack the door, which will keep the heat down even lower than that. Plenty of ways to go about it. Very nice. And now onto the dehydrator. These go at about 145 degrees for the next few hours, or maybe even overnight. We'll find out. One long dehydration later, let's check in on our jerky. Looking good. Nice little thick guy right there. Must say, loving the color. Looks like beef jerky to me. So I'll let this go overnight, and as you can see, it's got some really nice jerky texture to it. A little bit crispier than I was intending. I honestly thought this was gonna take about 4 to 6 hours like normal jerky does, but because it's such a fatty cut, and some of these are real thick, took a lot longer than expected. But let's go ahead and give this a taste real quick. Ooh, nothing wrong with that. Definitely very smoky, nice and dry, got some good tug to it. And the reason I like to take it a little bit crispier than I want to initially is because once I put all this into a plastic bag, any leftover moisture is gonna get trapped in there, and this will soften up over the next day or so. But I'm liking the way those bones look. I think it's kind of cool, you know, it gives you something to gnaw on, something to chew around if that's the kind of thing you're into. Nice and thin, nice and dry. Looks fully cooked to me. Now I must say, this is definitely not a good thing for preservation because it's so fatty. You know, usually when you're making beef jerky, you want to use a really lean cut because dehydrated beef is a lot more shelf stable than dehydrated fat. So I definitely wouldn't plan on making a big batch of this and hoping that it lasts for the whole year, but something tells me this is all going to get eaten in the next week or so. And if not, maybe I'll just pop it in the freezer or something. Shall we check out one of these nice thick boys? Oh yeah. Ooh, it's juicy. Oh, that's good. Nice and fatty, good flavor to it. Got that bone to gnaw on. Oh yeah, that's fun. Yeah, you know, depending on what style of jerky you like, you know, whether you like that super thin, kind of crispy stuff or this thicker stuff that's a little more tender. I'm going with the thick stuff today as the winner here, but both are very good. Flavor-wise, it's honestly pretty subtle. You know, there's a bit of soy, there's a bit of sweetness. It could use a little bit more salt, but I would say smoke is the predominant flavor here. I think that Korean barbecue marinade did a great job, but I think I would probably up the soy sauce content a little bit, so it's a little more like a jerky marinade than a Kalbi marinade. But that being said, this still tastes really good. Some good jerky. Oh, gotta say, folks, this stuff is pretty tasty, looks pretty cool, and I don't know, there's something a little extra manly about some bone-in beef jerky, am I right? All in all, I'd say that this was a successful experiment. I will for sure be making this again. I think it's a cool concept. Probably tweak that marinade a little bit, but if y'all make a great recipe of your own, be sure to send it my way. But it wouldn't be Korean barbecue style if we didn't cut it with some scissors, am I right? There we go, a little snack for the road. Love it. Very good. But without further ado, I think it's time for the official taste test. Man, I really hope no companies actually start making this because the markup on jerky already is pretty insane. So if you were paying that markup just for bones, whew, that'd be a lot. But great for the home cook. All right, y'all, and that is how to make some bone-in Korean-style barbecue beef jerky. I highly recommend giving this one a try. It was a pretty fun process, and the meat already comes stripped out for you, so you don't need to bust out a meat slicer or something like that. Not to mention, whatever marinade you use is completely up to you, and you can get whatever flavor profile you like. But that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.